Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to The Last of Us Season 1, Episode 9, titled Look for the Light. After being pursued by infected, a pregnant Anna places her trust in her friend. Ellie is forced to grapple with the toll of her journey, while Joel faces a decision of his own. So, I've got no idea who this Anna character is. I'm assuming it's going to be Ellie's mum. But, so, it was revealed to me that apparently the guy who plays James in the last episode is the person who voices Joel in the games. So that means that we've had Marlene playing Marlene. We had Tommy playing the um, guy, like the second in command of the hunters in Pittsburgh. I think it was Pittsburgh. Joel, who played James, and it's been said that Ellie's actress is going to be in this episode. So they really did get a lot of people from the games to reprise roles in this show. Well, not reprise roles, but to um, bring up roles in this show. The only one they didn't get of note that I know of is Tess. But yeah, I just find that interesting. But let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, go. Play. Now, while I was reading that out, the video was playing obscured in the background behind my notes app. And it got past the 45-second mark. So watch it stop and have to be restarted now that I'm actually showing the screen. I'm pretty sure this person right here is Ellie's actress from the game. Which, if they got her in to play Ellie's mum, sorry about that, that'd be a fitting role, I guess. Like, she effectively gave birth to the character of Ellie in the game by her performance, and then she literally gives birth to Ellie in the show. It's like poetry, it rhymes. And this is why you don't get pregnant in the apocalypse. That she's gonna pull out the knife. Yep. Now let me guess, she got bit, and that is why Ellie's immune. Because she had it. Damn. Yep. Well, that's not surprising. That is usually how the immunity characters are. Problem is, you've got a day at most to get that kid to someone who can look after it, otherwise, you're both dead. Now, we know she gets her to Marlene and everything, but I mean, to be fair, with how we know the cordyceps infects, there's no way that that bite right then would have been able to have anything to do with Ellie being immune, but they can still play it off as that. Like, that is how. That is probably the most realistic way, I guess. Like how some diseases are eradicated because parents have had it built up an immunity. They still have it in their system, gets passed down to the kid. The kid then doesn't have to worry about it. Let me guess, this is a safe house that wasn't meant to be locked. So you knew she was going to be there. No, you didn't. I told you to cover her ears. No. Hmm. She's still reeling after losing control. Or maybe not, because if they're getting close, that means they've travelled all the way to Salt Lake already. Is it just me or does Joel look younger this episode? Yeah. No. that's that's ironic. She doesn't want the journey to end because she thinks that means leaving Joel. Or more, he'd leave her. How could you have reacted to something that's 3 floors above? It's a giraffe. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, as to why she reacted. I've fed a giraffe before. Pretty sure it was at San Diego Zoo. Their tongues are very strong. Like, they get a grip of something, they could pull a human up off the ground with just their tongue. Well, there's a whole group of them. I don't think you could go there, but see, normally it's the other way around. It's the adult telling the kid that, but with what we've found out the last 2 episodes, or found out 2 episodes ago and saw in the last episode, it makes sense her needing some purpose for her actions. If It's just if you know what that purpose is, and that's where I'm going to leave it for now. Did not know that, but not all of them. See, he still doesn't know about. See two people walking along, chuck a stun grenade behind them. That's real nice. You could have just walked up and um knocked him out. So is there a glass panel between them? This is the opposite of what you promised. The fact that she knows they need two heavily armed men for a practically unarmed Joel. Maybe fully unarmed. Did they give him the knife or one of the guards? Oh. Picked an extra mag. Just in case. Hang on, is that an extended mag for a rifle? God damn it. No, because it looks like... I don't know how those kinds of guns work. Okay, looking at that one, the answer is yes. There was an extended mag. Look at what you've done, Marlene. You led your entire crew to slaughter. You chose the one person you thought wouldn't get attached to her. And to be fair, if your crew hadn't have been killed at the town hall, then he wouldn't have, but... If I'm correct about this moment in the game, only one of those doctors was in there. And it's probably the one that got shot. But this is what I meant by if you know what that purpose is. He was never gonna give her up. he has potentially doomed the future generations of this world because of his love for this girl. And who among you can honestly say you would choose different? If it came down to it, the only person in the world that you loved and cared for, could you give them up, even if it meant saving everyone else? Well, for one, your vocabulary. Hmm. I was expecting to see it in ruins. Even though I know it wasn't actually introduced till the second game. I was expecting to see the commune in. Hmm. And that is how the the first season ends. Now, I don't know. I don't know how um big of a change or how close to the game that ending was. I know what happened in the hospital was the same, where they were going to extract the cordyceps from Ellie's brain, killing her in the process to try and synthesize a cure. However, after that, I don't know if it was the same. Like, as I said, Tommy's commune wasn't actually introduced until the second game, or so I've been told. They met them at the dam in the first game. So, as to why they would be heading back to Wyoming in the game, I don't know. But, yeah, so I don't know if that's correct. I don't know if the story that Joel told Ellie was the same. But honestly, what can you do? Like, yeah, I know that at, in that scenario, lying to her is wrong. I know that if you actually look at the character of Ellie, she would have given it up to save people. And it's understandable as to why Joel wouldn't let that happen. It really does come back to what you think you would do in that scenario versus what you could actually bring yourself to do in that scenario. Because, let's be honest, there are a lot of people who say, oh yeah, I would choose the betterment of the world over the selfish love for one person. Hey, I'd like to say that I would do it, but I also know that deep down, I would hesitate. I don't know what decision I would make in that if I was faced with that situation. I'd like to say I'd choose the right thing, which is saving everyone, but there's also the right thing of saving the people that you love. And when that boils down to there's only one person in this world, well, no, two people, because he's got his brother, but yeah, that. But yeah, I can't say what I'd do in that situation. I also don't know if I'd have told Ellie the story. Like, about there being other immune, and then they couldn't find anything. I mean, honestly, if they knew the scenario through which Ellie became immune, and the Fireflies aren't exactly all about ethics and everything, why would they not just try and replicate the scenario? Like, we know both Fedra and the Fireflies, they're fucked up morally. Every character in this is fucked up in some way. But with Marlene, knowing what happened when Ellie was born, how her mum got bit before the umbilical cord was cut, and so that means that through the birthing process, the cordyceps were already in Ellie's system. Still don't understand how that worked with how quickly she was bitten before she cut the cord, but as I said, I can understand if that's the route they're going with. But yeah, so I would not put it above the Fireflies to try and replicate that. And then, well, it's not your leader's best friend's daughter who you promised to protect that you're taking out. It's not the substitute that this guy's found for his dead daughter that he's lived with for the entirety of this apocalypse. But in the Firefly's eyes, it would just be a nameless child from a faceless person that they've created for this purpose. I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying that's completely fucked up. But would you put it past the Fireflies to do that? With all the stuff that they've done. Yeah, they are freedom fighters and want to free the people, but we saw what happened when that actually happens. But honestly, video game world, they're not going to think of that because A, that would mean that the creators of the game would have to think of that. B, they would have to put it in a way where it seems like it's the right thing to do, when no, that is a completely fucked up thing to do. I will reiterate that. But that is one way they could have gotten around having to use Ellie. And, well, if they were to do that, if they found out that no, the kid did not actually gain immunity, even when it was put through the same scenario that Ellie was, then you understand that there is something about Ellie herself who is special. And that you actually run tests on her to see if is it the fact that it's a dormant strand of cordyceps that is confusing the aggressive strand into becoming dormant as well. Because I remember there was a I think it was a game. Yeah, it was Game Theory. I don't remember when it came out, but MadPat proposed a theory that Ellie had a separate strand of cordyceps, with sort of placated any aggressive form from taking her over. And if I can find the video, I've got to link it because it seems like that's the route that they've got, except it's not a separate strand per se. Instead, it's just she was born with this strand, but anyway, yeah. So, when it comes down to it, I can see why Joel did what he did. I can see why the Fireflies were doing what they were doing. Two completely opposing views. I can see the reasons behind both. I can see why Joel lied to Ellie. However, I also don't condone it. But there's also the fact that if he'd have told her the truth, A, she would have hated him. There would have been no saving that. B, she would have made her way back on her own because she wouldn't have accepted help from him. And yeah. Plus, he sort of killed the only doctor who knew what he was doing. Because they did specify that it was the male doctor who was going to be synthesizing it, because Marlene said he, and the others were all female, so unless he left his notes and everything for them, or they were equally trained in the exact same field of study that he was, they'd have to find a completely new doctor. Marlene's dead because of Joel. All the Fireflies there are dead because of Joel. And yeah, so I can understand why he lied, but also again, I can understand not lying to her, telling her the truth, and just living with the fact that you made a choice that she wouldn't have to save her life. Really, this is a moral conundrum, because no group is in the right. Some groups are in the right for some things, others are in the group for other things, and none of them can be right 100%. It all comes down to what you think is the right move, which, again, not everyone agrees. Half the people agree with, yeah, Joel saved Ellie. The other half believe, no, she would have sacrificed herself, so let her do that. Another group say it doesn't matter whether she would have sacrificed it, it's for the good of the many over the good of the one. So, really, if it comes down to it, which decision would you make? Would you save the person that you have taken to see as a daughter to replace the dead? Well, not replace, to finally care for someone after you lost your own daughter? Would you risk, well, no. Saying would you risk your own life to save the world is not a good question, because that is completely different from would you risk the life of the person that you love the most to save the amount of people. Because if it's your own life, a lot more people are going to say, yeah, okay, I can do that, than giving up someone that they care about. And apparently that was the intended theme of the show. I think it was the intended theme of the game as well, which is how dangerous is unconditional love? What would you do? What would you risk? And what would you doom for someone that you loved? And with Joel, we've got the answer. He would doom the world to save the people that he loves. Whereas Ellie would doom herself. Joel would probably doom himself if it meant saving the world, but he wouldn't put her through it. But anyway, I'm just rambling at this moment, so I'm going to end this here. I'll catch you in the next one.